Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Welcome to day 3 of the 12 days of Waxmas. So this is 12 videos we're doing over the next 12 nights leading right up to Christmas night. So we've got 2 patients in this compilation video for you today. This first patient you can see is this very, very dry type of earwax. And as we're pulling on this, you can see it's kind of really stretching. And when we start to uncover, you can see it almost concertinas out. Can you see those little ripples to the right side? Now that's a good indication this is a little bit of skin. So what we're doing here is just gently teasing this skin down the canal, trying to draw it down. Now, if skin detaches and stays in the canal too long, it hardens, which is exactly what's happened here. So the suction tube's really not going to hold on to it well enough. So I'm just trying to position the crocodile forceps on top of it, see if we can pinch it into the jaws of the forceps and draw this forwards. There we are. That's the pinch I need because now I can really easily get the jaws of the forceps on there. Holding on to this and just steady, gentle pressure. Look at this skin coming away here, all coming away nicely, drawing out to the canal, bringing that drier wax with it behind there. Look at that. So it's come away. So you can see that top, that front section there is all dry skin, and you've got this dry wax sitting right behind it. Now we thought we'd taken everything out, but when you take a look behind there, you can see there's actually another dry section much further in. So what we're going to have to do with this one is try and lift this from the canal wall if we can. You can see it's really hardened up in there. Now when wax hardens like this, sometimes it dries and actually hardens onto the canal wall itself, which means it's very difficult to detach it. So you can see I'm trying to put pressure on the wax with the suction tube and draw from left to right, which is then going to detach it from that canal wall. Now we're trying to draw it up, but you can see what's happening is it's just kind of stretching and molding the wax rather than actually detaching it from the canal wall. So we're going to pop some olive oil in here, which is going to help to loosen this a little bit. And then we're going to go just grab the side. There we are, there you go. There's that detachment we were looking for. We've got a good grip on this. Now we're trying to work this to the outer part of the ear canal. Unfortunately, it's just a bit too big to fit smoothly out to the canal. So we're going to try and reposition this. You can see I'm aiming the suction tube at a slightly different angle to hold on to that flat section to bring this forwards. Got stuck again. Let's try and bring it around the corner. Nearly. It's almost there. There you go, and out it comes. You can see it was quite a substantial plug that was sitting behind that dry skin as well. So if we take a look behind that now, there's the eardrum looking lovely and healthy. Really smooth skin, pearlescent, shiny, good light reflex. Light reflex to the right, hammer bone point to the right, so that's a right ear canal. So you can see around about the half a centimetre, that kind of 3/4 of an inch mark, that's the skin. There you've got the wax then to the right side of that as well. So quite a bit came out of that one ear canal. Okay, so this is our second patient in this compilation video. Right. This type of wax is another dry wax issue, but the difficulty with this one, it's a real tough one to do. Your heart kind of always drops a little bit when you see wax like this because it is actually hard wax pressed against the eardrum and it's connected all the way around, apart from one little bit to the top right corner, which means this is going to be a devil of a job to get this out. You can't, the reason being, normally with hard wax you could use a different tool or you can wiggle it, you can maneuver it, you can stretch it off the canal. We were talking just a second ago about being drying onto the canal walls. Well, this patient's wax is resting against the eardrum. It's actually stuck to the eardrum here and the canal wall there. So you can't wiggle this back and forth. It just will not budge. So I've had to put some olive oil in here just to start the loosening process off. But you can see the downside with olive oil, as you can see here, is it coats the cilia. So when you're putting the camera in then, sometimes it'll hit this patch of olive oil on the way in. So we tend to try and hoover as much of this off the canal walls and off the cilia first before we go back in, but you'll always find there'll be a little bit left on there. So it's a case of very slow and steady wins the day for this one. So we're just going to pop the suction tube onto the edge of the wax there, let the suction build, and then we're going to start to tease it up. Because at the moment you've got your valley, we always talk about that little lump before you hit the eardrum, so it drops like this. It's all pressed down in there as well. This patient must have used a cotton bud or a Q-tip at some point to press it this deep. So you can see we've very gently holding, lifting slightly. You can see there's a touch of movement, just very, very slight. That's all we've got. So not a great deal of movement to work with, and that's what we're going to rely on, that small bit of rocking movement to be able to get this out. There we are, you can just see, and this olive oil is frustrating because it just keeps coating the canal just as you get a grip. So we're going to hold just there, and you can see it's just a fraction, it's just lifting just a tiny amount. There we go, we just saw a little bit of movement forwards from the top as well, which means this is starting to free up. You can see got a little bit more movement up and down now, but it's still just jammed against this left side. Unfortunately, what's happening is we've freed the right side of the wax, but this left side is stuck here, look, just in the corner. So we're going to need to try and detach that if we can. Now there's a little layer here. You'll know from the video a couple of nights ago that this is a really delicate place to take this wax from. If you press into the canal wall, patient will feel a little bit uncomfortable. So we're just trying to detach that first of all and slowly work this across. Well guys, if you are enjoying the videos, then please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We post new earwax removal videos every week, so please consider subscribing to get a notification from us. If you hit the bell, you'll get notified as well every single time we put a new video on. So you can see we've managed to draw this across now, okay? So we've managed to detach it. The difficulty is when wax has been stuck in that position for a long time, it always wants to go back to its original position. So I'm just trying to free it up enough that we can get it off this canal wall, away from the left-hand side, really draw it into the middle, and then I'm hoping that we can get the crocodile forceps on here then to draw this out. So you can see it's just always trying to flip back. I want to put enough of a bend on it that gives me time to swap to the forceps. There we are, we can just get the top of the jaw, the top jaw underneath that bit of wax. Gentle here, we're gonna touch the canal wall. Got it there. Where you see that little bit of movement there, that's where we touch the canal wall. But there we go, look at that. We managed to get a grip and we approached it from the opposite way. And as we drew it, then the whole thing came out of that gap. So it's just got a little bit stuck at the entrance to the canal there. So we're just gonna wiggle this up and down. Won't budge. Let's get the crocodile forceps on it. That should get it out. There you go. Oh, nearly. There we are, and out that comes. You can see it's really dark, really dry, this wax. Patient was so relieved to get, yeah, youngster this patient was, but really relieved to get that out. And we take a look behind now. Interestingly, this patient has had a history of grommet. So you can see the scar tissue there on the eardrum. These little cloudy patches, these are scarring left from multiple sets of grommets being put in over the time. Now, if you missed the short we did yesterday, I think, yesterday. If you missed the short we did yesterday, then take a look at that one because that does talk about grommets and T-tubes. It's a really good one to watch if you've watched this one. So you can see that plug there, 1/4 inch, just over 1/2 centimetre there, you can see. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that video today. We shall be back again tomorrow. I find this really difficult to keep tabs of days. We'll be back again tomorrow for the 4th day of Waxmas. So as always guys, take care of yourselves and one another, and I shall see you again tomorrow.